Morning, mamas. Is it still morning? Yes. Okay, this is take two of videos for Monday morning, just like last Monday when it was a messy Monday. I haven't taken a shower today either, but I did put some curls in my hair so I look a little more presentable than last Monday. But the crazy thing is the video last Monday has gotten 27,000 views on Facebook in 1 week, which is weird because I looked the worst. Maybe I should take a hint and not look so good. No. Well, I still am dehydrated today. I need some more water in my system. I'm realizing that with making these videos. Hey, I am Lori West. Welcome to all you who I've never met before. Hi, welcome to my home. It's not always the cleanest or the straightest or the neatest, and I've got a lovely little rip going on in my couch there. Hey, I'm being transparent again. But you're welcome in my house anytime. Someone once said, if you want to stop by and see me, stop by anytime. But if you're coming to see my house, make an appointment so I can have it clean. So welcome to my house. Welcome. Good morning. I just wanted to give you a couple testimonies. One I'm going to tell you at the end. It's about a story that I told you last week on Wednesday. If you haven't watched that video about being tired and exhausted, go watch it. You can find it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. But I want to tell you testimony that I heard this morning about that. But first I want to tell you why you didn't see me on Friday. Where was I? Was I lazy? Was I sleeping in? Was I too busy for you or not thinking about you? No, none of the above. All hell broke loose. And that's the truth. You know, you have some of those mornings where just everything seems to go wrong, whether it be a conversation with your spouse or your kids, or people are not behaving, or just everything seemed to go wrong. I even got a text message at one point. One of my kids was having a panic attack at school. And so I know the enemy was on the prowl, and he was just launching just attacks against our family that day. I could feel it in my spirit. I was just a mess internally as well. And so it was Friday morning. I was supposed to be going to my Keep Your Love On DVD series that I'm doing at my mom's house with some friends. It's a great series. This is one of my favorite books. If you haven't read it, go grab a copy today. So I was excited to go to that, and then all hell broke loose. And one of my kids, I won't go into the long story, but one of my kids ended up not waking up on time for the bus, even though I woke him up. And in the process of me getting ready and trying to get him to get to school by getting a ride with his brother, we couldn't find him. And so I thought, well, maybe he walked to school, because he's made comments about, oh, maybe I'll just walk to school several times, thinking that would be a cool thing to do, I guess, to take 2 hours to walk to school, because it takes 20 minutes by car. And so we didn't know where he was. We thought, well, maybe he walked to school. So I told my son to look for him on his way to work. On my way to my Bible study, thought, well, let me just check the route. Maybe I'll catch him here. And I didn't see him. I kept driving further, didn't see him, kept driving further, didn't see him. Got all the way to school, didn't see him. Called the school, they hadn't seen him. Drove back, called my husband, what do I do? Do I call the cops? He's missing. I don't know where he is. And I said, well, let me go back home. Maybe I missed something, even though we had hollered for him all throughout the house. Go back home, and I'm looking, and I go to his bedroom, and I see 2 feet sticking out from under his bunk bed. Mom's not happy. I am so mad at this point. And you know, one thing I've learned is that anger is a secondary emotion. It covers up what's going on underneath, and it usually is covering up some sort of fear. Because if we're not responding in love, we're responding out of fear. Those are the two sides of the same coin there. And so what am I afraid of? Well, I'm afraid that he got stolen, that, you know, he got kidnapped, that he fell and got hurt, that he got lost. He didn't have a cell phone. You know, all these fears. And so I just started crying and letting him know how his actions affected me, how I'm feeling. And that's, you know, what this book, Danny Silk, in this book, or in his, sorry, I'm moving the camera. You're Loving Our Kids on Purpose, another great book by Danny Silk. He's a pastor out of the church out in Redding, California, called Bethel. And he has amazing insight and wisdom on relationships. The Keep Your Love On is about connection, communication, and boundaries. So my job is to tell him how his actions, how his decisions affected me that day. Number 1, I missed my class. Number 2, I had to spend all this time, 40 minutes driving there and back, worried, sick, as to where he was, thinking that he got kidnapped or something happened to him, and 3, that I was afraid and that it affected me. And he's like, well, I just didn't think you would go do that. And I said, what do you mean? You don't think I'd go looking for you? And I said, why not? And he kind of mumbled, because I didn't think you cared. He was acting out of his little teenageness. And so I sat down. I mean, my madness, my mama madness at that point wanted to say, get your shoes on. You're going to school. Blah, 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 and just ream him out. And then there was the other aspect of like, get your shoes on. You're coming with me to my Keep Your Love On class. And then I thought, yeah, I'm not really feeling the Keep Your Love On thing. I need to put this into practice. He's not going to absorb it. It's not going to be a good situation. So instead, I sat down, calmed myself down, because on a good day, I can only control me. I can't control him. I can only control me. So I sat down in my chair and I decided I'm going to put this into practice and keep my love on. And I'm like, Bud, why would you think that I don't care? And so we went through a conversation and I could see it touching a spot in his heart, and I could see some tenderness, and I could see him starting to, do the little chin quiver. And he was brave enough and willing enough. I created a safe environment for him to be able to be willing to share where the hurt and the pain came from and why he believed this lie that I did not care about him. And so we talked about that, and I apologized and went through a reconciliation tool that I learned in LAM, which is Love After Marriage, another program we've done as well too, which is an amazing reconciliation tool. I'll have to teach you sometime. But we went through that reconciliation tool, and I apologized. And, and part of it was he's a quality time kid. That's his love language. That's my love language. But quality time means for him, I'm doing things that are important to him with him, that I'm investing in that I'm excited, that I'm participating, that I'm listening to the things he wants to share about. It was noon by that point, and I said, well, are you getting hungry? And he said, yeah. I said, what are you hungry for? He goes, Chick-fil-A. I said, all right, let's go. So we went out to Chick-fil-A. He brought a $10 bill with me and said, here, Mom, let me help pay for it. He goes, or to pay for the gas that you used to try to find me. How awesome is that kid? And so we ate lunch, and then came home, and I had to go pick up some other kids, and I promised him that I would play Super Smash Brothers with him because that's one of his favorite things to do. And I said, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to beat your butt. You better be practicing. And we came back, and we played Super Smash Brothers. I had a basket of towels. I said, hey, bud, do you think you could fold those towels for me? He's like, sure, Mom. Whoa! Huge difference from this last week when it was like, can you put your clothes away? Can you put your clothes away? Can you put your clothes away? No. And they're not doing it. So what this taught me is that what Danny Silk talks about in the Keep Your Love On, in this Loving Our Kids on Purpose, is that you focus on heart connection first. Focus on heart connection first, and behavior follows. When he feels loved, he wants to love in return. I'm that way. When I feel loved by my spouse, by my friends, by my parents, by anybody, I want to love in return. I want to help. I want to pour in. When I feel loved by God, I want to obey all those rules he has in his Bible. If I'm not feeling loved by God, if I don't know his love for me, I don't want to obey anything. Yes, I have that little rebellious streak. So I just want to encourage you, moms and dads and everybody out there, whether it's dealing with your kids, dealing with coworkers, your boss, your spouse, keep your love on today. Try to figure out, how can I control myself, and how can I keep my love on, even if they're not being very loving right now, even if they're misbehaving, even if they're a mess. And I don't know if I shared the story with you. I did a similar thing with another child earlier in the week where I got into his world, and his behavior changed because he was feeling love. His love tank was being poured into. So moms, dads, everybody, pour into people's love tanks today. Find out what is it that they love. If you've never heard of the 5 love languages, Google that. It's a great tool. You can take a test to figure out your own love language, whether it's acts of service, gift, words of affirmation, touch, or quality time. I'm a quality time person. Thus, all these communications that I'm doing with you guys on a hopefully a daily basis. I love connecting with people. So The last testimony I promised I would tell you was, if you go back and watch last Wednesday's video about how to not be tired, if you're feeling tired or exhausted, what to do. Well, I shared that testimony at MOPS that day. It was a story about a time in my life when I was not getting a whole lot of sleep, and how God used something somebody said to teach me how to gain access to his energy and strength. And so I'm not going to tell you that story because I want you to go watch it, but I got a testimony from a woman today who put that into practice. She had to work night shift, and she had only slept 3 hours the day before, and she put it into practice, and she had a surge of energy like she's not had before, that even her coworker noticed and said, "Where did you get all this energy?" And she was able to tell her exactly how she got the energy, and this coworker's like, "Oh, so that's what I need to do." And God used this testimony to be able to connect this coworker with Jesus. And she had a praying mama who's 80 years old, and her son recently came back to the Lord, and she's recently coming back to the Lord. And I just love how when we take what God has for us, that abundance, it's like a smorgasbord, like a buffet, a Golden Corral, those kind of places. And he's laid everything out, all the meat, all the desserts, everything. And we can sit at the table and we can beg, "Oh, I just wish I had some meat. I just wish I had dessert. I wish I had, God, please, why don't you give me da-da-da-da." And he's like, "Good grief, get off your butt. Go to the buffet that I've laid out before you and grab what you need." I know that sounds harsh, but that's what he has for you. If you're needing joy, if you're needing faith, if you're needing energy, strength, healing, he has it all for you. But it takes grabbing it with faith. Go listen to the story. I don't even want to tell you any more about it because this video will get too long, but go listen to the story. You have to take it, use it, and step out in faith. Otherwise, it's like the Bible where it says, don't be the double-minded man who reads the word but doesn't put it into practice, who takes the word but doesn't believe it. That you've got to put it into practice. So anyways, I'll get off my soapbox because I don't want these videos to be too long. If you're struggling with your relationships with your kids, or maybe some of their behaviors, grab this book, Loving Our Kids on Purpose by Danny Silk. And if you're just struggling in relationships in general, and the kids book is even if you have adult children. It even works with other people because it's similar principles. Keep your love on. Amazing, good information about how to help you keep your love on in your relationships. It's not about how to help your spouse love you more, how to help other people love you more. That is a lovely byproduct, but you can only control you. Okay? I love you, moms. Control yourself today. That sounds so terrible. But just know that you have the power and ability to keep your love on all throughout the day. And whatever you need, God has it for you. Reach out, grab it, take it from him. He wants to give it to you. If you have questions about this, shoot me an email or a message and let me know. But I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys. I just pray blessings upon you today. I pray blessings upon your household and upon your kids, that the peace of God, which passes all of our understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. So give thanks, because that's the key that opens up the door to that abundance of peace that'll come into your house. All right. Love you. Praying for you. Pray for us too. We got a bunch of stuff going on here with all our kids and just husband and wife and marriage. And, it's just life. That's what happens. So keep us in your prayers and pass this on to anybody you know who needs encouragement. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to hear more. That's where you'll find all the other videos as well in one nice, neat little place. And I love you. Talk to you soon.